Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
A moment, may I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
To sweet Cecily, no. Whatever put an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
Oh, I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is around your back at the moment is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon?
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack? Oh,
Here's Ernest.
My own love.
A moment, darling. Are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what lady? Oh, good heavens, Gwendolyn?
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn.
What could put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. The man that is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Oh, he called Algernon.
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I want. I could deny anything. But I cannot deny that my name is John. It has been for years.
A gross deception has been played on both of us.
My poor wrong Cecily.
My sweet, sweet Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, will you not?
There's just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea, Mrs. Worthing. There's just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it is a matter of importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life I have ever been reduced to such a painful position. And I am really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I have never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of ever having one in the future.
No brother at all?
Never.
Had you never a brother of any kind?
None. I have never had any brother of any kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us are engaged to be married to anyone.
It's not a very pleasant position for a young girl suddenly to find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
Men are so cowardly, aren't they?
Okay? The ghastly state of things is what you call bunburying, I suppose.
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is. This is the most wonderful Bunbury I ever had in my life.
Well, you have no right to Bunbury here.
This is absurd. One has a right to Bunbury anywhere one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows this.
Serious Bunburyist? Good heaven.
Well, one must be serious about something. If one wants to have any amusement in real life, I happen to be serious about Bunburying. What on earth are you serious about? I haven't got the remotest idea. About everything I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to do, dear Algie, and have a very good thing too.
Your brother is a little off color, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to disappear to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I must say that you're taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl that is quite inexcusable, to say nothing of the fact that she is in my ward.
I see no possible defense at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolyn, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of you marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there's much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. It is very vulgar to talk about things about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, merely at dinner parties.
How can you sit there calmly eating muffins when we are in horrible trouble? I can't make it out. You seem to have become perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter would probably get on my cups. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless you're eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
Well, I am in trouble. Eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm really in great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I'm eating muffins because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
Well, there is no reason why you should eat them in that greedy way.
I wish you had tea cake instead.
Good heavens, I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own garden.
But you just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances. This is a very different thing.
That may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algie, I wish to goodness you would go.
You can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner. It's absurd. I never go without my dinner. No one ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I have just made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:45 under the name of Ernest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I made arrangements this morning with Dr. Chasuble to be christened myself at 5:30, and I naturally will take the name of Ernest. Gwendolyn would wish it. We cannot both be christened Ernest. It's absurd. Besides, I have a perfect right to be christened if I like. There is no evidence at all that I have ever been christened by anybody, and I should think it is extremely probable that I never was. And so does Dr. Chasuble. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I have not been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That is the important thing.
Quite so I know my constitution can stand it. If you're not quite sure about your ever having been christened, I must say I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. I might make you very unwell. You can hardly have forgotten that someone very closely connected with you was very nearly carried off this week in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes, but you said it yourself that a severe chill is not hereditary.
It usedn't to be. I know, but I dare say it is now. Science is always making a wonderful improvement in things.
Oh, that is nonsense. You're always talking nonsense.
Jack, you are at the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't. There are only 2 left. I told you I was particularly fond of muffins.
But I hate tea cake.
Why on earth do you allow tea cake to be served up for your guests? What ideas of hospitality?
Algernon, I've already told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea cake yet. And there's still 1 muffin left.